It has been a very long time since I've done a juice show. And I want to tell you all, thank you for your patience. Thank you for the new subscribers that were subscribing even when I wasn't doing a juice show. I want to say to you all, it's good to be back. Don't know how long it'll be before I'll come back, but I wanted to just do this juice show and let me catch up with you about what's been going on with my life. It's been a lot. And I want to say to you all, good morning, everybody. I want to say that I did finish nutrition school. Let's see, I am a holistic therapeutic nutrition consultant. And so I finished school. I graduated with honors, everybody. I'm so excited, so grateful. And then right after I graduated, we had a big party here at my house and our wedding anniversary. And then immediately after that, I want to say maybe 14 days later, didn't have time to catch my breath from the stress of school, all of the information that I learned, the peace of God that carried me through, the power of God that carried me through. My husband got sick, and it was very scary for my family and I. He had pneumonia, and then one of his lungs collapsed. But glory to God, on day 13, he walked out of that hospital still on oxygen. But I am so grateful to God that God brought him through. And I will say this, my respect for the medical doctors and the nurses have changed my mind about the medical field. I have been humbled in this season of watching my husband and the rest of us pray for him, pray him through, and watch him fight for his life, because that's exactly what took place. But I will say that I'm going to do a shout out to Riverside Hospital, 4th floor MICU. That's the medical intensive care unit. That team of people, first, second, and third shift, were outstanding. Outstanding. I spent the night at the hospital, and I want to say kudos to all of you who worked with me and my family, my sons, my grandchildren, to make sure that my husband came home. And I am so grateful for that. So, this show I'm going to do because as my husband has come home, we've decided, since I am a nutritionist, we've decided, and he is allowing me to be his caregiver. And so, what we did, we went through all of his medications and especially blood thinners. And we decided he needed the blood thinners while he was in the hospital because they had to put PICC lines, or they had to be able to put, what is that? I guess they had to put an IV in his arteries, because there are certain medications that are so powerful, like fentanyl and several others, that if it goes through a regular IV in the body, it will actually burn the skin, and it needed to go through a major artery. And my husband, I tell y'all, for 7 days, he was on life support. But the power of God brought him through. Many, many, many people were praying. Some people didn't even know he was in the hospital. And I will say, I want to do a shout out, especially to all the pastors who prayed for my husband, but especially Pastor Elam, who would not send a prayer, but he came up to the hospital. When he got the text, he was at the hospital at my husband's bedside within 20 minutes, praying over him. And I want to tell y'all, it is the power of prayer. It is the power of Almighty God that will carry us through any situation. It doesn't matter what your level of faith is. The word says, if you have the faith as a grain of mustard seed, that is smaller than a pinhead, smaller than a pinhead. If that's all the faith you have, that's enough to touch heaven. And I want to encourage somebody today. But I want to do this show, I want to dedicate it to people who don't understand the system of the body, the respiratory system, and all of the systems that are connected to it, and the nutrients that that one system needs. The respiratory system is the lungs, it is the bronchial tubes, it is the sinus cavity. All of that has something to do with your breathing. And I want to say to any of you out there that are smoking, I encourage you to ask God to give you the power to stop. Do whatever it is that you need to do to stop smoking, to take care of your lungs. So I want to say this. Number one, the body, when you smoke, you are actually putting tar or a black substance, soot. Let's say that you're cooking on your grill and all of the smoke that comes up. You know, you can hardly take that smoke when you're cooking some meat on the grill, because if it comes up in your face, it burns your eyes. And then when you look at all of the condensation from cooking on the grill, and the tar and the blackness and the residue from the charcoal, well, guess what? That's what you do to your lungs when you smoke. I was a smoker too. I stopped smoking over 47 years ago when I came to Christ. And it wasn't from me, but it was the first thing God, He just took it from me. The desire went. And I'm grateful to Him for that. But for those who are suffering with COPD, that is a type of pulmonary disease where you're blocking, you're not getting oxygen in the lungs like you should, and you may have to go on oxygen support, where oxygen is being produced in a tank and you have to wear a tube around your nostrils, or you may even have to wear what is called um, what is that machine? CPAP machine. And you have to use that at night. I've learned so much in this process, but all because of smoke, whether it's from your job or whether it's by choice, that you got attached to that little stick of nicotine. Please stop. And you're going to hear me say that a lot. Ask God to help you. Ask God, because He will help you if you ask. So one of the first things I want to say is there's a protein in the blood, and it's called hemoglobin. And I know you've heard of that. Well, if your hemoglobin is low, that means that you might be anemic, or you're deficient in iron. Well, in order for your lungs to receive the oxygen that it needs, then your body has got to have iron. The body doesn't make iron. You actually have to eat iron rich foods. And so, one of the ways that we got some iron in my husband's body last night, I made him some beet juice. I could tell that he was tired. His oxygen levels were good. His heart rate was good. But I noticed he is tired and he's cold. And then the Spirit of God, because I asked him, I was like, God, there's something wrong. And we can't watch him get exacerbated with his breathing to the point that he has to go back to the emergency room. What is going on? And when I looked at my husband, I saw fatigue. And that's the word that God said, look up fatigue. I'm sharing you all with you this information because I want you to know that sometimes we don't know why we feel the way we do. And the first thing we'll do is go to our doctor and they will give us a prescription. But there are so many good, nutritious fruits and vegetables. But those fruits and vegetables, vitamins and minerals, they all work together in order to cause the body to be at a place called homeostasis. And I believe in the healing power of God, all because He healed me of cancer with food and His power. But He gave me the discipline. I had to ask for it all. He just don't drop it on you. You got to ask Him for it. So I want to say to you all that when you need iron, one of the greatest ways that you can get iron in your body, I'm going to show you because I found this out in my research, and I'm leaving the camera because I forgot to bring this on the camera, but I want to show you one of the things that you can get iron quickly in your body. And so this is it. Look at this. Blackstrap molasses. This is unsulfured molasses. And this has 20% iron. Who knew that you don't have to take an iron pill? Now, in conjunction with this, you need, you need vitamin C. So now you're going to need, vitamin C helps the body to absorb the iron. Iron in the blood causes the body or the blood to make more oxygen. And it is oxygen that we need to feel alive. It is the air that we breathe, but it is the foods that we consume that put the oxygen back in our body. And you definitely need vitamin C to make the body absorb the iron that you're putting in it with foods. Beets have 4% iron. Now I'm going to go back to this blackstrap molasses. It's unsulfured, and that means that it is not have no other contaminants. Blackstrap molasses is the closest thing that you can get to pure cane sugar. It's not gone through a major process, but it is pure cane sugar. When I told somebody today about this giving you your iron, it's a good source of calcium, potassium, and iron. But you got to have your vitamin C from your citrus fruits in order to absorb the iron in the body. Make you some pineapple juice, some orange juice, some grapefruit juice for those of you who are not on blood thinners. And so this is the number one source of iron that you can get. So we're going to make my husband what I call a tincture. It won't have any alcohol in it, but you can do part water, part molasses, part lime, and you can drink that. So we're going to have that tonight, both of us, as a drink, because when we made him the beet juice last night, he said he hadn't slept so peacefully since he's been sick. So I want to go ahead and make this juice because we're already at 11 minutes, and I don't want to take up a bunch of your time, but I did want to tell y'all, anybody that's smoking, tell them to stop. Pray for them. Pray with them to stop smoking, because I'm watching the effects of it. And to stand at the foot of somebody's bed and the doctor's telling you, we're sorry to give you this news, that was not a good feeling. But God, but God. And so I want to dedicate this show to my husband because he's still here with me. And I know that our God is faithful. My husband allowed me to anoint him and still anoint him. First 7 days, he was not awake. He was not aware because they had to, what is called, um, paralyze his body with medication in order to give his lungs and his heart a chance to rest, because he was so breathing so hard, struggling to get oxygen into his lungs. But why? Because of not knowing that being addicted to cigarettes, at the end of it all, is deadly. There's a scripture that says the wages of sin is death. This is a trick of the enemy. A lot of people want to bring the enemy in, that he's doing something, but what he will do is trick you into thinking that you need a cigarette, or you need this drug, or you need that particular food, or you have to have this. No, you don't. Because greater is he that's in you than he that's in this world. And so the wages of sin is death. And look at what the pleasure of one thing did. But at the end of it, the wages that you get, fighting for your life, fighting for your life, and doctors fighting for you, knowing what you did to yourself. Isn't that something? So again, I do a shout out again to the medical intensive care unit at Riverside Hospital, fourth floor, entire team, entire team, entire team. And if any of you are looking for a pulmonary doctor, the doctor that came and showed us and brought my husband out of life support is Dr. Akingbada. Akingbada. Akingbade. Bada. B-A. Aking. B-A-D-A. Akingbada. I call him Dr. A and his team. Oh, yeah. Amazing, amazing. So here goes, guys. I'm going to make this juice for my husband because I'm going to do him some Granny Smith apples, some limes, some ginger, and beets. And all of this is for his lungs today. All right. Another thing that we're doing, I'm giving him some mullein because we want to go in and bring healing to the lungs. And so there are herbs that are specific for lung health, and mullein is one of those herbs. But I'm telling you, to get the iron that you need so that you can breathe, you got to have your iron levels proper before you can even breathe. And you know what? With his iron levels coming up, then his body will be able to receive the oxygen from the oxygen machine, and then the nutrients that he has allowed me to give him, he's going to be okay. And then when he is up without oxygen, we'll do a juice show together. So here goes, everybody. I got some beets over in the sink that I've already rinsed off. And so there they are. They're pretty. They're beet roots. And this is my favorite color. As y'all know, this teal, my walls are teal. I just love it. And so I have had an amazing journey with school, but I tell you what I have learned from school is helping me to help my husband. So I am going to use the Breville juicer. I have the Nama, but I rather do the Breville because it's quicker for me. And let me get my pitcher. Oh, I hope I can reach it. Yep, got it. And so then we can make a batch of juice. And what I'm going to do, because I have gone back to work, I'm going to make a batch of juice. And then I am going to freeze some of it and we're going to drink some. So here goes. I'm going to be quiet while I make the juice. So I've got to cut up some of these beets because they are pretty big. And you know, beets, because they have a beautiful red color. See that? Can y'all see that? Yeah. They have a beautiful red color. And so we're going to go ahead. And I love the smell of the beet. And I'm going to mix a beet and an apple. Beets and apples. So that, yeah, that's beautiful. I'm going to do another apple. And then I'm going to add the ginger. Now I'm going to put that entire piece of ginger in there. Ah, you can smell the ginger. Very strong. I'm going to cut up some limes now. And I'm going to put the limes in there as well. I just want to encourage you. My main theme of everything has always been love yourself. Woo! Yeah. Woo! I put the lime peel in there because the lime actually has the same benefits as a lemon, but a little bit more. And the lime and the beets seem to work better together, give it a better taste. But I want to tell y'all, you know, I've learned a lot um, from school, but I've also learned a lot since my husband has been sick. And I've also learned a lot about addiction. There's being addicted to anything. You know, sometimes we think we have a tendency to look down on people who might have addictions, but all of us are addicted to something. I know one of the things, I love popcorn. I was on a popcorn kick for a while, and then I got on a potato chip kick not too long ago. And so when I was doing the research, and I hope y'all can hear me, when I was doing the research for my husband with this, for the beet juice, I found out, and I don't know, but I like the way God will lead me as I'm doing research on one thing, He'll lead me to something else. And, you know, I've been eating potato chips because I feel like, well, potato chips can't be that bad because there's that beet juice. Isn't it beautiful? Um, potato chips can't be that bad because it's just potatoes, oil, and salt, right? Well, you know what I found out? Have you ever heard the word carcinogen? Carcinogen is anything that causes cancer in the body. Potato chips are a carcinogen. I was so shocked when I heard that. I was like, oh my God, look at what I am doing to myself. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to taste this. I got glasses as a graduation gift from my niece, Victoria, from South Carolina. And so I put my Pause with God logo on it. And it has like, it's almost like um, it's all glass, straw, glass cup. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my straw to stir this up because I want to taste it. I want to see what is it that it needs, if anything. And then I'm going to put my straw in there and I'm going to taste it, you guys. And then just a little bit. And here we are. This is the beet, lime, ginger, Granny Smith apple juice right there. So let's taste. Mmm. Whew, I can taste more than anything. I don't necessarily taste the beets, but the ginger is coming through, and the lime is coming through. It tastes really good. But more than anything, you're going to get your iron in there. You're going to get some magnesium in here, and magnesium just helps build the cells. But you know what? This is an antioxidant rich juice. That deep color there is killing off the free radicals. It's killing off those cells that have been damaged from smoking or damage from being around chemicals. It's not necessarily, some of us work on jobs where it's toxins that are in the atmosphere. Some people who maybe work in a funeral home and the fumes from the chemicals that you embalm the body with, or you might work in lawn care, or you might work in paint, or you might work in an industry where you are working with a lot of chemicals, or it could be cigarette smoke. So I want to say, start taking care of yourself. You need iron. You can have too much iron, but go and get your blood work done. All of you, go get your blood work done and ask your doctors about your iron levels. And if you're feeling tired, or if you're not able to get the oxygen that you need, you might need a double whammy vitamin C, and you can get that with your fruits, your citrus fruits, or you can get the what I call the lipospheric vitamin C. I'm going to come closer because this is what I took when I was diagnosed with cancer, because it goes into the body quicker. That's the lipospheric vitamin C. It's called Live On Labs. You can order it online, but that vitamin C goes into the body and then allows you to absorb the iron from the blackstrap molasses, from the kale and the collards, especially from organ meat. A lot of people don't think we need the meat, but you've got to get that iron in your body some kind of way so that your body can receive the hemoglobin into the hemoglobin protein into the red blood cells, so that your red blood can be oxygenated so that you can be alive, and then the rest of your body will be able to absorb all the other minerals and nutrients and vitamins that it needs. Ah, guys, I'm telling you, this is very good. And so I'm at 20 minutes, and I'm going to keep on making this juice, and then I am going to tell you the benefits of it, and then I'll be done because I'm going to make me some pineapple kumquat juice because it's my favorite. I won't do a show about that though. Ooh, uh-oh. I'm making a mess because I don't have my top on. I don't have my top on my juicer over here. I'm going to do a few more apples. Mm-hmm. All right. And there we have it. The juice is made. And then I'm going to tell you all the benefits of the ingredients of this juice. And then I'm going to sign off, and I am going to continue to make juice for the rest of the week for us. All right. Guys, I'm going to tell y'all, I really missed y'all. I was trying to decide, am I going to do a juice show while I make this juice for my husband, or am I going to not? And then I decided, yeah, I need to do a juice show. I need to update everybody on how I've been. Hopefully, all of you have been doing well. Hopefully, all of you are taking care of yourselves. Hopefully, all of you have continued to juice like we've been doing. And if you don't feel like juicing every day, then juice one day enough for the week and put it in the freezer. And then you don't have to make juice every day, but you got to take care of yourself every single day. Don't don't wait until something happens to you like I did, like my husband has, to be willing. My husband had to be willing for the change. He was at the point of death. And then he realized, okay, let's do it your way. Let's do what you did. And so that's what we're doing, y'all. I want to say to you, love yourself enough to stop. Love yourself enough to change. Love yourself enough to want better. I'm not saying that you can't ever have, but if it's something that you know is deadly, why would you? That's giving you a poor quality of life. Why would you want to? You don't want to. You don't want to be on oxygen every day. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is stop now. Stop now. Ask God for help now. So I'm going to tell y'all the benefits of, let's see, I have lemons here, but they're very similar, the compounds in lemons. Citric acid, they help prevent the formation of kidney stones. It's, listen at this. I want to say this too. When you smoke, it also affects your cardiovascular system, which is your veins, your vessels, arteries, and your heart. And so all of that is all connected. And so so you do want to stop smoking now. All right. Um, there's hesperidin in the lemons and limes. This antioxidant may strengthen your blood vessels and prevent atherosclerosis, and that is the buildup of fatty deposit inside your arteries. But smoking will do the same thing. Diosmine, an antioxidant used in some drugs that affect the circulatory system. Diosmine improves muscle tone and reduces chronic inflammation in your blood vessels. So everything to do with the the respiratory system and the heart. We're trying to get the blood vessel strong so that the oxygen can be in the blood and that the oxygen can also open up the airways so that you can breathe better, so that we all can breathe better. There is an antioxidant that's found in the lemon peel. And when I give my husband his water in the morning, I make sure that I put lemon juice fresh, and then I put the entire lemon in the water because of the oil from the limonene is in the peel. And so that oil also is soothing and almost like massaging the lungs. And so everything that I'm doing now is dedicated to people with COPD or what is called emphysema from smoking. All right. Um, Lemons can relieve heartburn, stomach reflux, and lemons are not found in high amounts. Many of the plant compounds in lemons are not found in high amounts in lemon juice that is stored, that you buy in the store, because they have preservatives. So I recommend that you get fresh lemons, keep them in your refrigerator. And I want to say the longer you keep them in, the easier they are to juice. The next thing is the Granny Smith apples. And what's in an apple? Apples, apples, apples. And I'm a little bit, laid back. It's been a trying 3 weeks for me. And so I've learned to trust God. And I am very patient with the process. All right. So listen at this. Apples can do a lot for you thanks to plant chemicals called flavonoids, and they have pectin, a fiber that breaks down in your gut. If you take off the apple skin before eating it, you won't get as much of the fiber, and we do need the fiber, but we can use this fiber because my husband asked me, when you make the juice, can I have a cup of the fiber? Because the fiber, of course, goes in and it helps with your bowel movements. But this is what apples do. Apples help the pancreas. They give you lung strength. I love God. Give you heart strength. Helps with asthma. Gives you bone health. Helps with the weight loss. Helps with your memory. easing the symptoms of Alzheimer's, helps your immune system, and helps your gut. Apples don't offer protein, but they are an excellent source of vitamin C. Vitamin C. So there we are. See, you're getting your vitamin C with in the apples to help the body absorb the iron that's in the beets. I just love how God does a thing. Then we have the beets. All right, let's look at the benefits of the beets, and then we're gonna do the ginger, and then we're gonna close out. All right, beets. The benefits of the beets. The leaves and roots of beets, and that part that I put in were the root. This is the beets. You see that? You have beet leaves at the top, and you juice all of that. The ones that I bought today, the leaves they had cut off. And then that's the beet root. That is the part where all of it has iron in it. And so I'll juice these another day. And I may just cut them up and put them in a salad for him to eat, because it is nice to get the fiber from the beets. But the including antioxidants that fight cell damage and reduce the risk of heart disease. Beets, right? They're one of the few vegetables that contain betalains, a powerful antioxidant that give beets their vibrant color. Betalains reduce inflammation and may protect against cancer and other diseases. Beets are helpful plant compounds that reduce inflammation, and let's see, they increase your stamina. Listen at this. Beets are rich in vitamin B9 or folate, which helps cells grow and function. Folate plays a key role in controlling damage to blood vessels, which can reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. Now, mind you, when you have COPD or you're having a problem with getting oxygen to the lungs, then you are actually putting a greater strain on your heart. So the beets are excellent for the blood vessels. The apples are excellent for the blood vessels. And so not only are you getting the iron to help get the oxygen in the blood, but you're also drinking and eating something that's strengthening the heart and the vessels. So you are healing. You are healing. You are being healed by the drinks, this juice that you're going to make, and by the power of God combined. It's your faith that makes you whole. Lowers your blood pressure. Beets are naturally high in nitrates, which are turned into nitric oxide in the body. This compound lowers blood pressure by causing the blood vessels to relax and widen. And that's why, we didn't do the blood thinner. It's called, let me see, what is it called? I don't know the name of the Eliquis. That's the name of it. We opted out. We paid for it, but we opted out to taking it because I had a relative who the doctors put him on Eliquis, but the Eliquis caused him to bleed internally. Well, you know what? I would be a fool if I know the side effects of a blood thinner is not only causing your blood to thin so it won't clot up, but also causing you to bleed internally, meaning you're bleeding out inside. I won't do that to my husband. And so, being a nutritionist now, thank you, Jesus, I went over all of his medications, and that was one that we eliminated. Am I telling you to eliminate it? No. Even though I'm a nutritionist and I'm talking to you, I'm telling you to talk with your doctor. Now, I had to talk with his doctor so that we could work together to get him to his best self. Yeah, we didn't just decide, no, we're not doing what they said. No, we decided we will let them know this is the direction that we want to take. We want to take a more holistic, natural approach to taking his life back, because we have put it in your hands. And I will say, fourth floor Riverside, they did their thing. They knew exactly what to do to the body with medicines, but they also gave him, believe it or not, they gave him potassium, they gave him magnesium, and they even gave him sodium bicarbonate to raise his pH levels in the hospital through his IV. So I watched them go through every system in the body to make sure that it was functioning the way that it needed to. Now, some things gave him some side effects, but we are taking care of those side effects and helping him to get his life back. All right. Um, these beets boost your immune system. Beets are high in fiber and promote the growth of good bacteria in your gut. Having plenty of healthy bacteria in your digestive system helps fight disease and boost your immune system. So he definitely needs that. Um, Folate, manganese, vitamin C, vitamin A, and potassium. And that is it except for the ginger. Now, this is what the ginger does. The ginger, for example, ginger increases serotonin and dopamine levels. So that helps with depression, that helps with your feelings of calm, sense of peace, but this can reduce inflammation, which which may cause depression. See that? So ginger reduces the inflammation, which may cause depression, but ginger increases serotonin and dopamine. That's the happy gene. Ginger also provides benefits for anxiety, depression, dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and post-traumatic stress disorder, eases stomach pains, and treat nausea and motion sickness. But ginger also is very potent in opening up the respiratory system. So guys, I want to say to you, love yourself, love your family, take care of your health. I'm telling you, love yourself. Look at however old you are, fast forward your life to 20 years from today. And where will you be with what you're doing? I want to encourage you, spend more time in the Word of God, because when you spend time in the Word, read it out loud, because faith comes by hearing the Word. It doesn't mean that you have to hear it from a preacher or from somebody else. You can hear the Word coming out of your own mouth. But I'm telling you, increase your faith, because it is your faith in Almighty God that's going to get you to 20 more years, and 20 years healthy. I want to encourage you, don't be afraid to trust God, but don't be weird and spooky about it, because some people want to be super spiritual, that God's going to do everything when He gave us a brain, when He gave us a will, when He gave us the ability to do certain things. And He wants us to do our part, and then He's going to do His part. And the main part about Him that I found is that He gives us a little bit of Himself, because our brains are too small to even comprehend how big He is. So He gives us a little bit of Himself, and He says, go out and conquer your world. And so I want to say to you, make sure that you eat clean, that you pray and ask God for direction, that you abide and hide in the secret place. How did my husband and my family and I make it through? Because we dwell in the secret place of the Most High, and we abide under the shadow of the Almighty. We will say of the Lord, He is our refuge and our fortress, our God, in Him we will trust. That's Psalms 91. Surely He will deliver us from the snare of the fowler and the noisome pestilence. He will cover us with His feathers, and under His wings shall we trust. His truth shall be our shield and buckler. His truth shall be our shield and buckler. Under His wings shall we trust. But we must abide there. He says He will give His angels charge over us to keep us in all our ways, lest we dash our foot against a stone. He said, with long life I will satisfy you. And He said this in Psalms 91, because you have trusted in me, because you trusted in me, I am going to be with you in trouble. I will deliver you and honor you. So you see, when you speak the word over yourself, peace comes. Didn't you feel the peace of God come as I was speaking those scriptures over us? So I'm encouraging you, love yourself, and love God. God bless you all. It's good to be back. Bye, everybody.